I'm taking a big shot at this. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, law school wasn't part of the plan. You know what I mean? It wasn't part of the plan at all. But you get to enjoy what you're doing, and then you see how it makes a difference in people's lives. You know, I mean, oftentimes I joke and say, well, you hear other paras saying, yeah, they're dealing with like family law client, everybody's upset under pressure. And I'm like, well, I deal with them people. So they're not coming back, saying, hey, you robbed me or this or cursing me out. They're already there. It's all about figure out where the assets are and do the distribution. So that's my thing. But over time, and as I understood, hey, you know what? I can actually make a difference a bit further beyond just dealing with client. I mean, I work in Midtown, so 90% or 90, I guess I would say probably 98% of the clients that I deal with are not Black people or Latinos or anything like that. I probably, in the past 4 years, at this firm, I probably had two Black clients, and those were people with, those high-end clients, you know what I mean, where they need like big estate planning type of thing. So down the line, when you look at things, like, hey, you know what? How can we make a difference with the everyday folks? Because at the end of the day, they are left to fight over money, and it may not be a lot of money, but structuring the whole thing, organizing this thing as to who's getting what, makes everything better. And whoever passes away, they leave some form of, I guess, cohesion between everybody versus like mommy died and nobody gets along because everybody feel that, hey, they should have got this, they should have got 50%. That one doesn't want this person to be the administrator or the executor. That one feel like, hey, they're the administrator, so anyway, they want their commission, things like that. So if I can make a difference at that level, with holding people's hand beyond being a para, see, why not?
Absolutely.
I mean, I still have to eat, but they still have a car, they still have a house. Sometimes they just, you do have folks where they have the house, but then somehow they manage to sign the reverse mortgage. And then it's like, now, they died. So now how do you deal with the reverse mortgage? You thought, okay, that's grandma's house, it's going to us, but somebody talked them into getting the reverse mortgage. So now you're really getting the house, So being able to inform the regular folks as to, hey, this is how the system works, this is how, you do it. I may not be able to reach everybody, but within like New York City itself, some folks do need help with that. And truthfully, when somebody come in where I work to get estate planning done, we're talking about $3,000 to $5,000, if not more. But, if the average Joe can get a basic will for $250, that makes or less, that makes a big difference.
There are so many things I love about your story, Stan, and the reasons why you want to go to law school. And I want to ask you, have you thought about including this in your law school personal statement or another part of your application?
You know what? I didn't even think about that.
What you just said right there, I want you to re-listen to what you just said later when I post this, because you could just take that, transcribe it, and you've got a rough draft right there.
Seriously, I did think about, hey, how do I, hey, they're talking about the statement and this and that. I did think about it, and I thought about maybe, I could just write about, hey, you know what, I came here, I spoke, French and this and that, so my English was decent, but, any little French kid, their idea is like, hey, you know what, we coming to America to get this MBA and things like that. That's the whole dream, the American dream or whatever. So that's kind of like what I was thinking about. But then you mentioning that, and I was like, wait, but yeah, you're absolutely right. That's really, the idea behind it. Yeah, back then when I came, the whole dream, 20 years ago or so, the idea was, hey, having an MBA and going back to France was like the thing to do. You were guaranteed, a top company and whatever else. But over time, you make other decisions and you try different things. It's like, hey, thank you.
No, for sure. I mean, listen, you can cover both stories. Your immigration story is a clear winner for a diversity statement. And so you could tell both stories, and you should. And I've laid them out as one being better for a personal statement, one being better for a diversity statement, but you could potentially flip them. I would say take whichever is likely to be longer and make that your personal statement, because typically you have more space for that. But regardless, I want you to cover both of these stories in your essays because they're great stories to tell, and law schools are going to love them, in part because you'll definitely bring diversity to the classroom given your background. And at the same time, you have very compelling reasons for wanting to go to law school. It's a clear next step for you. Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.